Alright, welcome back as we press on in our series on the Constitution. Finishing up the presidency under Article 2. We're still not into Section 2 yet, we're still in Section 1. It says the President shall, at stated times, receive his services a compensation which shall neither be increased or diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument for the United States of America or any of them. Now, that's a little odd, but it's talking about his pay. Before he enter on the execution of his office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation: I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution for the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no for God, under God, anywhere around that. You can, for all the evangelicals who want to beat the desk and say it's a Christian nation, there it is in black and white. A copy from the early 1800s. That'll help you break a little reality down into it for you. Hopefully that doesn't hurt your feelings. Not that I, don't say that you have the right to religion, just saying this is what the Constitution says. Section 2, the President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States of America and all of the militias of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States of America. He may require the opinion in writing or the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States of America except in cases of impeachment. In other words, you can't pardon somebody who's going to be impeached. But if you're right there, he needs written approval. He may require the opinion in writing, it's in the opinion, but in writing, of the principal officer in each of the executive departments. In other words, he needs the governor's okay. It says it right there. The governor can say, no, I don't think so. Bad idea. And actually, you can. You really should look it up. The governor in his state is far more powerful than the president. He shall have power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. Advice and consent of the Senate, okay? To make treaties, provide 2/3 of the senators present concur, and he shall nominate, and by with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministries and councils, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States of America, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law by the Congress, may by law vest the appointing of such inferior officers as they think proper, in the presidents alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The president shall have the power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session. In other words, the president has the power to step in and fill key roles for people to utilize offices, judges, so on and so forth, but only on the Supreme Court and inferior offices. Okay, but he has to adhere to the advice, and he has to have the consent of the Senate. And the only time he doesn't have to have that is if they're in recess, and then whenever they come back in, his appointments are over by the end of that recess, or by the end of that next session. So, because they have to be appointed or approved by Congress. So, I mean, there's a lot here in this section that people can cover. The biggest one is it clearly dictates and states that there is a separation between the Army and the Navy and the militia of the several states. It says it right there, people. Can't be a bad word. Everybody seems to abuse the militias and they want to demonize militias, but that word just keeps reappearing and reappearing inside this Constitution, and we'll get to posse comitatus and so forth later on. Section 3. He shall from time to time give the Congress information on the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses, or either of them, in the case of disagreement between them, with respect to the time of adjournment. He may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. In other words, people, the president is the manager. You know, he's the guy taking care of stuff. Okay, no doubt, he's the man that administrates. But it tells him that he's faithfully supposed to execute the laws. His handbook is the law, not to create new laws, not to change laws. He's allowed to carry out the duties of his office as long as he follows the law. He's not above the law. He's just a flesh and blood bones person holding an office. That's it. He's a public servant. And it tells you right there in Section 3 that he has to obey the goddamn law. When are you people going to figure that out? It says, black and white. Black and white. If he doesn't follow the law, punish him. Punish him severely. Because that's how it works. Onward with Section 4 when we come back.